My name is David, and there's something I have to share with you. Something at a business that grew to be worth $200 million. I had the fancy corner office, my own private jet, and a beautiful home right on the ocean. Folks saw me as a real success story. Magazines featured articles about me, and up and coming business owners were eager to learn my tips. But what no one realized was that while I was putting all that together, I was tearing apart the life that truly count.
I had the fancy corner office, my own private jet, and a beautiful home right on the ocean. Folks saw me as a real success story. Magazines featured articles about me, and up-and-coming business owners were eager to learn my tips. But what no one realized was that while I was putting all that together, I was tearing apart the parts of life that truly count. And when I finally woke up to it, most of the damage couldn't be undone. I'm 76 now. The business is long gone. I sold it ages ago. The cash is still around, but I'd give it all up in a heartbeat to turn back time and make different choices. No matter how old you are, if you're out there hustling non-stop and telling yourself it'll just be a little longer, please listen to what I have to say. I was in your shoes once, and I got it all wrong. Let me take you back to 1978. I was 30, fresh into my marriage with Sarah, and I'd just launched my own company. People said I was nuts for doing it, but I was set on showing them otherwise. Those early years were tough, 80 or 90 hours a week. I skipped family dinners, birthdays, and anniversaries. But Sarah seemed to get it, or at least that's what I convinced myself. She'd tell me, "It's fine, we're setting up our future." And I bought into that. I really thought that once we hit the big time, things would fall into place. We'd make up for lost time then. That was the story I repeated to myself for the next 20 years. In 1983, our little girl Emma came along. I was stuck in a board meeting when Sarah went into labor. I made it to the hospital in the end, but I wasn't there for the birth. I promised myself I'd show up for the big stuff after that, but I didn't. I wasn't around for her first steps, her first school day, her games on the soccer field, or even her high school graduation. There's this one memory that still eats at me. Emma was around 7, and she ran into my home office holding a picture she'd drawn of our family. She was beaming with pride, but I was in the middle of a phone meeting. I put up a finger to signal just 1 minute. She waited there for about half a minute, then turned and left. Much later, I came across that drawing. At the bottom, in her childish handwriting, it said, "I love you, Daddy, even if you're always working." She was only 7. By the time I saw it, there was no way to make it right. By 1995, we'd hit the jackpot. The company was valued at $50 million. We upgraded to a huge house. We even went on a trip to Hawaii, our first proper getaway in over a decade. I figured, look at that. All the hard work paid off, but things had changed in ways I didn't see coming. Sarah had created her own world without me in it. She had her circle of friends and her volunteer work with charities. Emma, at 13, hardly said a word to me. I'd turned into an outsider in my own house. I told myself it was temporary. Once Emma headed off to college, we'd bond again. That elusive later I kept chasing. In 2001, Emma started at Stanford. I was bursting with pride. But on drop-off day, she held on to Sarah for a full 5 minutes. With me, it was a quick, stiff hug, barely 5 seconds. Like it was something she had to do. That same year, Sarah told me she wanted a divorce. After 23 years together, she was finished with the waiting. She'd spent most of our marriage feeling alone, because I'd been more committed to the business than to her. I couldn't even fight it. She was spot on. After the split, I dove even deeper into work. The company ballooned to $200 million. I landed on the cover of Forbes. Everyone wanted to know my formula for success. I never admitted the real cost. I'd given up everything that really mattered. In 2009, at 61, I had a heart attack. I was in the office late, like always, when the pain hit my chest. I got myself to the emergency room. There was no one close enough to call. Sarah had moved on and remarried. Emma was out in New York. My assistant only realized something was wrong the next morning when I didn't appear for a scheduled call. Lying there in the hospital, wired to all those monitors, everything clicked into place. What had I been chasing? I'd built this giant enterprise, but for who? Not Sarah, she was out of the picture. Not Emma, she'd figured out how to get by without me. It was all for my own pride, for some goalpost that never stopped shifting farther out. I let go of the company in 2012, cashed out big, and then had to puzzle out what to do with the rest of my days. At 64, with plenty of money, but no one to enjoy it with, I reached out to Emma. I called her weekly, visited New York. But time doesn't work like that. You can't reclaim what's lost. You can't retroactively cheer at those soccer matches or be there for the tough talks. Once it's gone for good. Emma's polite with me these days. We grab lunch now and then, chat on calls, but we don't have that deep connection other dads and daughters share. No shared laughs from old stories, no easy familiarity. It's all surface level, and I know that's my fault. She got married 3 years back. She let me walk her down the aisle, and I did. But during her toast at the reception, she went on about her mom. How Sarah had been her rock through everything, teaching her strength and kindness. For me, it was just a quick thanks for being there, like I was any other attendee, not her dad. That evening, alone in my hotel, I broke down and cried for the first time in years. I'd let all the real moments slip away. I'd been so focused on what I thought was a big deal that I missed seeing my daughter become who she is. Now, I'm just this old guy she puts up with out of duty, not because she truly wants me around. It took me over 60 years to get this. Being successful doesn't count for much if you're by yourself. All the money in the world is worthless without people to share it with. Trophies and titles fade if your loved ones aren't part of the picture. I watch young guys today repeating my errors, putting in 70 or 80 hours, ditching family meals for one more task, putting jobs ahead of their relationships. And they echo what I used to say. Just a bit longer, until I get that promotion, hit that target, close this deal, then I'll shift to family. But it doesn't work out that way. There's always the next thing pulling you in. Meanwhile, your children grow up fast. Your partnership crumbles. And one morning, you wake up old, loaded with cash, but drowning in what-ifs. If I could sit down with my 30-year-old self, I'd tell him this. The business won't fall apart if you clock out at 5. That meeting isn't the end of the world if it waits till Monday. Emails can sit until tomorrow. But your kids' early years, they won't pause. Her game is happening right now. Her performance is this evening. Miss them, and they're lost forever. Work is endless. Another opportunity, another deadline, another fire to put out. But your children won't stay little. Your partner might not stick around forever. Your folks won't be here indefinitely. The ones you care about, they're on a clock, and you never know when it'll stop. I've got enough savings to last forever. Investments, real estate, a nest egg that could keep 10 families going. But I'd swap every last dollar for one extra afternoon with 7-year-old Emma, or one more quiet night with Sarah before I drove her off, for the opportunity to be fully there instead of always half distracted. Here's the ironic part. No one at the old company even thinks about me now. New leaders came in after the sale, and within a couple of years, it was as if I'd never been involved. Those big deals I slaved over? Forgotten. The wins I chased so hard, just bold news in dusty reports no one pulls up. But Emma hasn't forgotten. She recalls every absence, every overlooked celebration, every time I picked the job over her. Those scars don't fade. They formed the foundation of how we relate, and there's no erasing them. I'm 76, living solo in a beachside apartment. Time stretches out endlessly now. I read books, take trips, help out at local causes. But a lot of it is spent reflecting on the road not taken. The fuller life I might have had if I'd grasped that true success comes from bonds with people, from showing up, from real affection. So if you're seeing this and you're stuck at the office late once more, hit pause, shut down your computer, head home to your loved ones. Eat with your children. Relax with your partner over a show. Just be in the moment. Because in 20 years, that work document will be a blur. But you'll know crystal clear if you were present for what counted. And if you're brushing this off, thinking your case is unique, that you're crafting something monumental, I get it. I felt the same. Every person who falls into this trap believes they're the exception. But we're not. We all assume there's endless time ahead. We figure family will hang on. We plan to catch up down the line. Truth is, you won't. I got this wake-up call 40 years past due. Get yours today. Head home. Be engaged. Pick your people first. At life's close, your work highlights won't matter to anyone. But to those you hold dear, it'll mean everything if you were truly there. If my words leave you unsettled, that's okay. It should stir something. If it pushes you to shift gears, even better. Don't put it off for tomorrow or next year. Start right this second. Time doesn't wait on your schedule. It just rolls on. One day, it'll catch up. Drop a note below about what you'll change. If you want more insights from a guy who figured it out the tough way, hit subscribe. Pass this along to someone who could use the nudge. Then set your screen aside and connect with the folks who count. Believe me, they're worth more than any pursuit out there.